Richard, your The Best Years of Our Lives is your autobiography. How long in the making was it? It came out obviously 2014. How long what in the making was that? How long did you think, I've got to put this all down?
Well, being a slacker, it actually took me a long while. I started that out, probably the end of last century. It's funny talking like that, isn't it? But yeah, and then I gave it a break because I was a bit pissed off. I was going to say pissed off, and I will. Because at first, when I first started writing it, I had a lot of people approaching me, and because a couple of chapters were getting handed out, and a lot of people were saying, well, where's all the dirt, and asking me about gossip on Michael Hutchence, etc., which was not the reason I wanted to write a book. So I just thought, well, I don't really want to kind of write that kind of book. So I gave it a break for a few years and then came back to it, and I came back to it in bits and pieces, but it took a long while, put it that way.
And you mentioned Michael Hutchence because, of course, you worked on the very first INXS LP, didn't you?
Correct,
you produced it.
I think that was one of the most life-changing experiences I ever had, because prior to me meeting INXS, I was quite set in my ways. Like, I really was very much, I suppose, well, my icons back then were like Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Jackson Browne, etc., and I'd had my heart set on just being a singer-songwriter. So as you can tell, like all those early albums of mine, and especially Goodbye Tiger, were very much in that country rock sort of genre. But then when I met INXS, they had such eclectic kind of tastes in music, like between the six of them. And so Michael and Andrew were like real left of centre. They were into Burn and Eno, My Life in the Bush of Ghosts and stuff like that, Well, you can tell, because, I mean, Michael, after that came out with that Max Q album.
Which
sort of showed his true colours. But through the whole gamut of that, I mean, I had to open up my head and start listening to a lot of different kinds of music. Some of the, I think it was Gary was really into XTC and bands like that. So I found it was a really healthy thing for me, because I changed tack and I made a real kind of sharp left turn when I got my head into their music. So the next thing I came out with was The Great Escape, and INXS were on that album a lot. But I think just, I'm an Island, that song alone just marks a distinct left turn.
And you would have been around the same age as those guys. It would have been like, as you say, that you're just hanging out with a bunch of blokes and finding all diverse musical kind of avenues.
Yeah, and a lot of fun was had. To be honest with you, Dave, they're a bit younger than me.
Right.
So I used to be their big brother. They were so poor, I used to have to buy their lunch when we were making that album. No, honestly, a sandwich lady used to come around to me in my studios, and like a sandwich was like about $1. But they didn't have $1, so I'd have to buy all the lunch for them. But yeah, a lot of fun was had in those days.